EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to one of the great cities of the world, London, England. On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway here in England. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Nice chunk of yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You can go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Line of scrimmage, the 24. This is 2nd and 6. Here's McCarthy. And that nearly an interception here on this opening drive, but he gets a reprieve. It's 3rd down.
Used to have a coach who used to tell us all the time, those scouting reports aren't just to use up paper, guys. Well, nowadays, we're watching a computer screen, right? They scouted this team very well. Know that they like to use the running backs in the passing game. They covered that play successfully.
He's got the connection to Moore. That he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get him the 1st down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. So on 4th down, on is the punter Ryan Wright. The back deep for the Steelers is Calvin Austin. It'll be a 41-yard punt. Give them 5 on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. Byron Murphy there on the tackle.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Now run straight ahead with Warren. And some room to maneuver. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a 1st down.
Well, partner, I have to say they called him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. And I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there.
But they're certainly not neglecting their run duties as well as they ate up the blockers in front and allowed the secondary to get home.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Again, it's Johnson. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a 1st here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Yeah, it's still early in the game. No sense taking a chance on 3rd down and forcing one into traffic. So I like the wise play he made there. Get it to the sideline out of bounds where no one's going to have a chance at it.
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. That was perfect. From distance, he steps up, knocks it right down Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street's celebrating right now with him, aren't they? I love the mechanics of the whole thing. Snap, hold, everything was right on target, and the blocking was perfect. And he executed so well.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Yeah, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it's second down. Moore, the man in motion. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Well, we've seen running backs in today's NFL get involved in the passing game. Maybe it's about time more receivers like that get involved in the running game.
And that is something we are seeing more and more in this league, no question about it. That wasn't the biggest of gains, but it was enough to get them a first down. And it continues to test the defense. They have to think on every play about who might end up with the ball.
Last standing that time from Keanu Benton. Got him there and hit him for a loss. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Moore, the man in motion. They'll go play action. Here's McCarthy. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
And looking up into the sun, he's able to make the fair catch inside the 20-yard line. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
Nice satisfying run on 1st down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
On play action, it's Rodgers. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Dangerous spot for them to cough it up. Lucky to have recovered, because had the defense gotten it, they were already within a shadow of the goalpost.
Yeah, and then you're yelling at your own defense. Sudden change, sudden change. That's not what you want to hear on your sideline. That means you got to run out there and try and stop an offense who has the ball in a very advantageous position.
He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And this will be caught at the 30. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. To throw, it's Rodgers. And this is going to be incomplete.
That's well done defensively. They get the pressure they needed on 3rd down. All the receivers are locked up tight, and they force that quarterback to just throw it away.
Here's Cameron Johnston now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or two. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Cameron Hayward getting upfield to make the stop.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. And he's got the hook up to Moore. They'll wind up getting just a yard. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. They're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. To the air with McCarthy. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, this first half has not gone according to plan so far offensively or even defensively for that matter. They could use a big-time spark somewhere, but it's not going to come on this drive as they have to punt this one away.
This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Steelers ready for their next possession. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. They begin the drive with Johnson. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Andrew Van Ginkel there on the stop.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time they were up to the challenge.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Rodgers now to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And the defense coming through on 3rd down. A loss of 7 to bring up 4th. Was certainly not an ideal first quarter for him. Remember, he lost the fumble earlier, and here he ends up on the ground with a sack.
And sometimes what happens when you make a mistake early, you get too cautious going forward. Just cover up the football and take care of it and be able to cut it loose. Otherwise, your offense is going to stall.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. On play action, McCarthy. And this one nearly picked off. Well, kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they had that one snipped out defensively. That's a tough one to connect on when you got multiple defenders in the area, and it winds up incomplete.
Throwing is McCarthy. He lets one go deep for Addison. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. A big play there for Minnesota. 57 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So now from half the distance closer, here's 1st and goal. On play action, now McCarthy. Escapes the sack. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. J.J. McCarthy taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Vikings are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. But defensively, didn't seem like anybody had eyes on the quarterback, and he took advantage.
So you think that maybe we're seeing some pretty good instincts for a young guy? Because that's the thing you worry about coming out of college. You're used to getting away with just about anything you want to do. You're just superior. Here, he has to read it, figure it out, and know when it's time to go.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Throwing now is Rodgers. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. They'll get this complete to Calvin Austin. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards. Took him 5 tries, but he is able to complete that first pass of the game.
And could you hear the exhale all the way up here? Not just from him, coaching staff, offensive line, receivers. Now he's off the schneid. Can they get him going in a nice groove where he becomes a little more consistent throwing the football?
Because you miss those first 2, but you get up the 0 for 4 range. That can be a little tricky, but able to settle in, hopefully.
Yeah, now you won't have any confidence issues. Now you can kind of get it back even with just 1 throw. I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 41-yard line. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. They go back to the ground with Johnson, and he'll take this one down to about the 40. Defensively, Harrison Phillips there to stop him.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter.
but that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
I apologize in advance, partner, but the beefeaters on the interior of this D-line, you just know they were licking their chops on 3rd and short. And yes, they were rewarded with a tasty dish, stuffing that one short of a 1st down.
Well, we got beef eaters licking their chops and tasty dish in one fell swoop.
I did apologize in advance, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That line's not eating tofu, I'll tell you that much for free. So they get the 3. It was 4th and 1, and I think you were doing what I was doing. I was looking down at the sideline. I'm not sure the offensive unit wanted the 3. They wanted to go for it.
But when have we ever seen a unit that didn't want to go for it in that situation, right? Sometimes it's just way more important to have the points on the board than to worry about any type of a gamble.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
Now McCarthy. Middle of the field to Jefferson. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a 2-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Looking to throw McCarthy. Addison hauls it in. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a 1st down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Now a 1st down carry by Jones. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Here's 2nd and 7. McCarthy off the play fake. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. 2nd time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, but what a nice job improvising, finding other options, and completing the pass anyway.
And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Javon Hargrave there on the stop.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Here's Rodgers to throw. This one finds Austin out right. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You've got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 34-yard line. Give them 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
Every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know as a defender, it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
Austin is there and brings in another one. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage as shown by that last play.
Now Rodgers. Out route, and he connects with Freiermuth. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. A give up the middle to Johnson. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
And that was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on first down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
Rodgers going to throw. Flushed out right. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Aaron Rodgers taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Steelers are able to move back in front.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Moore, the motion man right. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
Well, how many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 9. Here's McCarthy. He's got the connection to Moore. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll go as a pickup of 32 on the catch and run.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
Going to throw deep for the end zone. Oh, and that is incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
The game clock sitting at 2:02, so they'll get one play before the 2-minute warning. Up the middle, Jones. The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Back to throw. McCarthy setting up the screen here. Aaron Jones. And they'll get this down to the 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
And his pass incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
They'll go again here from the 10-yard line on 2nd and goal. Looking to throw. McCarthy over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. McCarthy operating from the gun. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So they opted to pass for it on 3rd and goal. Let's see what they do on 4th and goal.
Well, I think they threw it with the idea that if they didn't get it, they would go for it on 4th and goal. So they've got another play in their pocket. They're going to have to call it right now. No field goal here.
And his kick is good. And that will cut the lead back down to 3 at 13-10. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Steelers taking over now late in this first half. And they may just be content to take this 3-point lead and head into the locker room. Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. That's down the field and caught by Freiermuth. And he's going to be ridden out of bounds down inside the 25. A big play there just before halftime. And even 50 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Completes it to Austin. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Here's Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line. 2nd and goal. Rodgers to throw once more. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Calvin Austin in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers would extend their lead here just before halftime.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. So not much time to work with here. 9 seconds remain in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the Vikings going to take over here one more time before the half. And with only 9 seconds remaining, well, not much time, we'll see how they play this. 9 seconds to play, likely the final snap of the first half as it's 1st and 10. Working out of the gun is McCarthy. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And maybe a chance for a quick completion and then a long field goal try. We'll see. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. A final shot before break. McCarthy. He'll fire deep, looking for more. It's caught at the 10. And he will step out of bounds down near the 10-yard line. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And able to get this out to the 25. The Steeler offense ready to get going to begin this third quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there.
That's another beautiful throw right there. Gets it to his man right in stride. And I think that throw kind of exemplifies what we've seen from this offense throughout this game. They've been in rhythm. They've been sharp. They've been on it. And they pick up another first down there.
To throw is Rodgers. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Rodgers again now. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Sacked by Andrew Van Ginkel. Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
A handoff for Warren.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
Well, the guys who are paid to make the tackles deserve some kudos there, but I think they deserve even bigger ones because in that situation, they had to be thinking pass. Loosened up defense, going to pass coverage. Instead, maybe they surprised them a little bit running the ball, yet they rallied to it and stopped them well short of a first down.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half.
And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the third quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose. And that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a first down.
On the counter, here's Jones. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And here's Jones again on second down.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down.
To the air with McCarthy.
Drops it to Jones in the flat. And he'll get this only to about the 38 as they stop him a few yards shy of the line to gain. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? Third down. They just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
This will be a 41-yard punt, 3 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go to Johnson again.
And this is going to be a Steelers first down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Up the middle, Johnson. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory.
62 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Now 2nd and 3.
They'll send Austin in motion right.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Now it's Rodgers.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Here's Johnson again on 2nd down.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Throwing now is Rodgers. Completing it to the right side, Johnson.
And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
To throw, it's Rodgers. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line.
Jonathan Allen, the former first-round pick, getting in there to bring him down. A CD, a little bit of feast or famine for him. He's had some success throwing the football, but also now he's been sacked 4 times.
Yeah, you just mentioned the 4 sacks, but you're right. He has managed to hang in there and make plays at times. His offensive line, they've got to figure it out and pick things up and give him more opportunities, and he has to help them by getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker as well.
And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
Throwing is Rodgers. This one into the hands of Metcalf. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that's going to make it 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way their defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting 3.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that could all change because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Now a quick throw into the hands of Jefferson.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards.
I tell you what, when you're down on the scoreboard, you've got to look to your stars, and that's what they do here to start the drive. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked his way a few more times in short order. That one, well designed, and it's a quick first down.
Running right, Jones.
And slow going there as he'll only get a yard, maybe, up to the 41.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them, understood the play call, and stacked it up and stuffed the run.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9.
Again, it's Jones. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Looking to throw McCarthy.
And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Welcome back now here in London. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field.
They've got a chance now to put this game away following that last defensive stop and punt.
Here's Rodgers to throw.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Rodgers now to throw.
A short one there to Freiermuth.
9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. If they continue to throw these safe passes, who can blame them?
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers.
And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big 3rd down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Here's Cameron Johnston now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it.
And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Now McCarthy. Slant route, and he's got Addison. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 83 yards receiving now for him on the afternoon as he's got a first down here. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
They'll try the right side with Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. T.J. Watt, always a disruptor, there to blow that play up.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give him a lot of confidence to help turn things around. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12.
Throwing is McCarthy.
And that'll be incomplete.
So many things have to go right for any passing play to work out. Quarterback has to understand the defense, deliver an accurate ball. Receiver has to concentrate and bring it in. Somewhere along the assembly line, something was off with that one.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just one conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd down and 12.
Here's McCarthy. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And here's Ryan Wright now
as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
A quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
This is what defensive coaches ask of their defenders every single ball game. Get a hand on every throw in coverage. They want the deflections. They want the knockaways. Pick it yourself if you can, but at least knock it down and guarantee it's incomplete.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Rodgers.
And, oh, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
A couple of quick incompletions, and now they're just one more away from getting off the field. They've got options now. Could they dial up a blitz here or just drop everyone into coverage to crowd the throwing lanes?
Rodgers going to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Jonathan Allen picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news, but this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 at their 38. Throwing to start the drive. McCarthy. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down.
Out route to Jefferson, and he's got it.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Setting up the screen here, Aaron Jones.
And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Moore, the man in motion. A give to Jones. And he's got room. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down.
57 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones.
And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
This one brought in by Jefferson.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and 3rd and 1 now.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
They'll try and run for it with Jones.
And he will have a Vikings first down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1.
Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Back to throw. McCarthy. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense?
In his defense, I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
That was a nice job defensively of disguising their coverage and making it difficult for the quarterback to lock in on a receiver, and it results in an incomplete pass.
This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long. Looking to throw. McCarthy. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Going for it, here's McCarthy. They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Joey Porter Jr. And the Steelers are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. Fighting his way through contact. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game,
They've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. How about Jonathan Allen there, pushing upfield to make the stop behind the line?
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run it until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool them on that play.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Jonathan Grenard in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational, CD. That is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession, but not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
And here's a spot where this offense says, we got to start making something happen. We're down 2 scores. It's the 4th quarter. We've got to start moving with some urgency. And here's a big play that gives them a ray of hope that they can get back in this one.
It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 2nd down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch.
A big play here, 3rd and 2. And that one to the right side and incomplete.
And a smart play there. He's probably saying, I wish I would have done that on the last drive instead of throwing the interception.
Here we go. This is 4th down. They'll indeed go. Here's McCarthy. Throw to the right, hauled in by Addison.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
To the air with McCarthy.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And while it's probably going to take a miracle at this stage, if they come down with this one in the end zone, they've still got a fighting chance. That one, however, winds up incomplete.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Throwing again, McCarthy. That pass complete to Moore.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Working out of the gun is McCarthy.
And Jones has it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Here now, third down. To the air again, McCarthy.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line.
Nick Herbig
in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks. Pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and this Steeler defense able to come up with a stop. So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll try and run down some clock with Johnson.
To the 43, second down.
Now a timeout called for by the defense as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game.
Third and 5.
It's Rodgers. Able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away.
No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. So all eyes on this Vikings offense. Down by 13, a little over 50 seconds remaining. It's been a struggle to score all day, and now they need to do it twice here late to have a chance.
From the shotgun, McCarthy.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only 1st down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
If this offense can't get it done, they'll think back to just a few plays and say to themselves, this was a winnable game and we let it get away. Still a chance to save it, but time's definitely running out.
This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here.
Operating from the gun, McCarthy.
That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete.
Well, it's pretty difficult to sum it up offense in a 2-minute drill. When your guys have struggled to put points on the board all afternoon, there's an incompletion right there.
The decision made for them. They've got to go. It's 4th down.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.